Greetings, Heathens and Naredowells. I'm Don, the Philosophical Satanist, and I'm making another video. I don't normally make videos in such quick succession, but it's been an interesting few days because I've spent the last long while just really working within my own group, the Satanic Congregation, and sort of minding my business and doing my own thing. I haven't really stepped outside into the larger net, which I know, always a mistake. But just for some networking for an upcoming business idea that I'm brewing, I thought I'd get out and I'd see sort of what the culture and what it's like inside of these areas that I plan on working, and it's very interesting. I maybe it's because I spend my time around the satanic circles that I created, and because the meetings and stuff that I go to are meetings that I have put together, and the Satanists that are attend are Satanists that I know. But it's amazing how misunderstood Satanism still is. And that's why I'm making this video, especially because demonology and Satanism are often put hand in hand, the same way Satanism and witchcraft were. Yes, lots of people who follow the more spiritual side of Satanism do get into demonology because demons are freaking awesome, but they're not necessarily. Now, I'm calling this video "Don't Sell Your Soul," right? Because this seems to be the big thing, especially now. Joy of Satan are massive perpetrators of this bullshit. So what they do is they rope people in before they actually understand what they're getting into. They fill their head with absolute twaddle about what demons are and working with demons, and they get them to make all of these pacts. Half of them don't even feel safe making the pact. They're just doing it because that's what they're told to do. And if you're one of those people, or you find yourself in this situation, let me give you the best piece of advice, free advice anyone will ever give you. And that is, if you're not comfortable, if you don't know what you're doing, why you're doing it, and whoever's advocating you do it hasn't laid all their cards out on the table, don't do it. It's not worth it. It will backfire on you because you've approached it with the wrong mindset. My video on the correct mindset in demonology is doing the rounds. Find it. Alright, find it in a demonology group or something like that. Watch that video about having the correct mindset on how you go about doing it. Now, this is also a video in defense of Satanism and Satanists. I had a recent discussion with someone, and we were getting along great guns. Both of us wizards, both of us have very similar ideas on magic. We were getting along fantastically until it came out that I'm a Satanist, and he's one of those people that is so staunchly anti-satanic because he's drunk the Kool-Aid. And I say drunk the Kool-Aid because Satanism never recovered from the satanic panic of the 70s and 80s. And, even into the 90s, it progressed. You've got all these idiots like, I don't even want to give names because then you'll look them up and they're just an embarrassment. But he dropped a thing where this guy was I'm just going to call him by the name Curtin, right? And this dude's not a Satanist. He's a fucking psychopath. But he influenced someone who then went and killed people, and it's called a satanic murder. It's not a satanic murder. All of these people out there who are so dark and gunning for Satanism, I'll bet you dollars for donuts you have not read the Satanic Bible. And if you have read the Satanic Bible, then you explain to me why you think the way you do about Satanism, because the Book of Lucifer, the Book of Air, is very, very, very clear on how a Satanist should deport themselves inside of the world. The Satanic Bible is the only religious text in existence with a whole chapter devoted to don't molest children, don't hurt them, treat animals with respect, don't kill any animal except for food. Only religious text that does that. These things are very clearly stated as not satanic practices, but you get these devil worshippers, these unhinged nutbar psychopaths that they take on the name of Satanism, and they call themselves Satanists. Well, I'm going to say you can stick a cat in an oven, but that doesn't make it a biscuit. All right, and that's what I often drop when people are in these things, cats and biscuits. Well, that's what cats and biscuits means. In fact, I hope this actually, gets adopted as a thing. Satanists, blah, 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 blah. Cats and biscuits. They can call themselves Satanists, doesn't make them Satanists. Right? Your average Satanist is more concerned with themselves. A Satanist will not allow anyone to take away their freedom. Man, spirit, God, whatever. It's why we treat with demons so well, because the correct-minded Satanist knows you're not going in to sell your soul and enter into a master-slave relationship. You're making you're networking and making a productive working relationship, right? But in the same way, a Satanist would never allow someone to take away their personal power. A Satanist will not take away the personal power of another, because that's a violation. All right, one of the things when out in the world, when out in public, when doing your thing, don't hurt other people. If it serves you and it doesn't hurt others, do what you like, and it hurts none. Do what thou wilt. And that's a misunderstood phrase as well. It doesn't mean do whatever the hell you want. Wilt is being used as in the application of will. The thought behind action. Don't just think about it. Get off your butt and do it. If it's not hurting anyone, do what your will dictates. Now, I recently responded to a post about a person who, and I'm going to call this section Joy of Satan, JOS, Recovery. If you've been suckered in by one of these things and you've made a whole pile of promises and pacts, and maybe you've gone and gotten a tattoo, and the old things, the promises you made, they don't serve you anymore, but you're too scared, you're afraid, you've been told by these people that it's going to come after you and it's all going to come back on you, and they engage in the hostage situation. They say, oh, it'll hurt your family, it'll hurt your friends, this will come back on your children. Right? What a head fuck. And that's what these scumbags do. They get into your head. This is like the Church of the Cross. They get into your head. They mess with your psychology and they stop you thinking straight. Right? I'm here to tell you that no one controls you but you. Right? What you believe is. You are the controller of your universe. We're human beings. We have the power of creation ourselves. It's our ultimate power as a human. What we believe is, even if it's just for us. If you believe in evil, vengeful deities, there will be an evil, vengeful deity. If you believe in good, kind, loving, friendly entities, they will be good, kind, and loving. It's called co-creationism. And it was the number one thing that my satanic mentor, great mind named John R. Lee, he used to say, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So if you've made these pacts and you've done these things and they don't serve you and you're too scared to walk away, don't be scared. These Joy of Satan people are pussies. They have no spiritual power. They have no power to affect you. I mean, for crying out loud, I've been in cold war with them for the last 12 years. I have taken on Maxine Dietrich head on. And I'm fine. I'm doing great guns. They can't touch you unless you believe they can. It's all about your belief. So clear out your belief, clear out your guilt. They've gotten in your head, they've messed with you. Don't drink the Kool-Aid, right? If you like the entities that you've made friends with, but a lot of times they tell you to pick one god and you will have no other gods, well, you're allowed to talk to other people. That's like an abusive relationship where your boyfriend won't let you be friends with anybody else. Ditch the prick if that's the way they feel. And same thing with the entity. Sit down and renegotiate. All right, say I want to be friends with you, but I want to be friends with other people too. And 9 times out of 10, they'll sit there and they'll say, "Oh, cool, we'll catch up on Sunday." They don't care, right? Because at the end of the day, these are beings. They don't operate along human lines. They've got their own consciousness. They've got their own thing that they're doing. They make the time to be with you. You call them, right? They don't call you. And anything that does call you and gets intrusive is probably not something you want to be playing with anyway. And if you suffer from problems like that, well, ping me a message. Maybe I can give you some advice that helps, but that's not what this video is about. So, like I said, Joy of Satan recovery. Fuck you guys. Fuck you. Come at me. I dare you. I'm not scared. Don't buy into their crap and don't let them hold you hostage, because nobody controls you but you. And if you're afraid of Satanists, it's because you don't understand proper, and no true Scotsman, but you don't understand proper Satanism, and you never took the time to read the Satanic Bible, because yes, okay, the Book of Fire, the Satanic diatribes at the start are a bit intense and they're really, really angry at Jehovah, but we should all be angry at Jehovah. He's a prick. But they were all taken from a previous book by a dude named Ragnar Redbeard in his book Might is Right. The Book of Lucifer is where it cooks. That's how a Satanist deports himself in the world. And if you've read that and you actually understand it, you've got no reason to be scared of Satanists. We don't want to hurt you. We're more afraid you're going to hurt us and discriminate against us. The amount of people, especially religious people like Muslims and Christians and white magicians and these people who cast out demons and stuff, that they've got their fixed ideas. We're more at risk from you than you are at risk from us, because our religion basically tells us not to hurt people, right? It's why satanic secrecy exists, that most of the time it's going to cause you a problem to admit you're a Satanist, and don't admit you're a Satanist, not unless you want to. And I've found that, but yeah, anyway, this is not to have a cry about, my persecuted belief system. It's just more to say that there's greater things on heaven and earth, Horatio. And just because you've heard a whole pile of things, or someone's called themselves something, I mean, at the end of the day, are the idiots that blow themselves up representative of all Muslims? Do Hillsong Church speak for all Christians? There are nut bars everywhere. And your average Satanist wants nothing to do with these fucking idiots. If anything, we get annoyed. We go them harder than you ever will, because they're the reason. And all of these myths, the black mass, the sacrifices, all of that sort of thing, that's just shit the church made up. It didn't exist before the church created it, and it was used to slander witches. But it became a meme and it ran away with itself. So we have the church to thank for this misconception on top of everything else anyway. But it's getting a bit rambly, and I generally don't like to take my videos beyond 10 to 15 minutes, and we're coming up on 15 minutes. So let me know what you think. I'm always happy to engage in conversation. And until next we speak, this is Don, the Philosophical Satanist, saying Shem Hamfarash, hail thyself, and have a beautiful day.